world be a safer place if women were in charge? 0207 862 2222. Now, journalist Yasmin Alibhai-Brown made this claim earlier on Jeremy's show when discussing Donald Trump. Take a look.
Men have this thing that they have to bang away at weapons, blow up the world, and that's what matters. Not one woman at the moment in world affairs is destroying the planet.
Well,
all of you lads are doing it. I'm so sick of male power. I am totally sick of male power.
You cannot.
Yeah,
we
this is
wouldn't
good,
do
though.
this with other faiths or bits of society where we'd hold the actions of one small portion and then hold everybody
It's
accountable.
men who... It wasn't men who caused the banking crisis, it was bankers.
Edging us to the Third World War is male.
I would want to know what percentage of bankers are in fact men, though. Do you agree with what Yasmin is saying? Would the world be a better place if women were in charge, or does gender just not matter when it comes to being a leader? Charlie, I'm going to start with you on this one. Do you feel offended when you hear what Yasmin has to say there?
Well, no, because life's too short to be offended. But and I like Yasmin, but it was a totally clumsy, lazy, sexist, misogynistic maybe thing to say. I would have thought, I mean, and it's just ridiculous.
What's ridiculous about it?
Well, because she's talking about characteristics. She's not talking about somebody's gender. Now, we can talk about Donald Trump and whether the world would be a safer place under Donald Trump. You can have that debate another time. But the idea to say that it is just men that are causing all these problems, you know, she wants to talk about other... I mean, Liz Truss caused a bit of a banking crisis. It wasn't the bankers.
No, but she's talking about wars, and she's saying right now, she's not saying historically, listening to that clip, what she's saying... I'm going to assume she's talking about the Middle East, and what she's saying is, I don't see any female leaders there, and all we are brinking on World War III, and it's men in charge. And actually, I don't want to make some assumptions about gender. And you said it's sexist, misogynistic. You could be correct. However,
I am correct.
It would be nice to have some balance in that Middle East problem we've got right now, because we've just got male world leaders.
Where is her facts? What is she? I mean, she's
because right now we're on the brink of World War III.
Well,
yes,
she's basically saying because there's an absence of women in leadership positions
right now.
But that doesn't justify then. That doesn't explain because she hasn't got the data.
Okay, well, I'll try and give some facts back. I don't know what Yasmin's facts are, but there are many psychological studies out there that look at the differences in characteristics between men and women. Now, you can't do it on an individual basis because every individual man and woman will be different and hold different characteristics. But in general, when looking at them, women, when dealing with conflict, tend to compromise more. They tend to look for more of a diplomatic outcome. Men tend to be more aggressive in their approach to things. Little boys tend to be more aggressive than little girls. They're higher in testosterone levels, for example. And another fact cited, which may suggest that men are more likely to go to a war than a woman, is wars tend to happen with overconfidence. Apparently, this is a characteristic. Ego and overconfidence. But overconfidence is what's stated in this study, and men tend to be more guilty of overconfidence than women.
There you go, Charlie.
Well,
what are you going to do with that?
They're just some of the suggestions, but then you can also look at many female leaders that have went to war.
Well, Margaret Thatcher was brilliant when it came to the Falklands. She went to war. She was one of our most successful...
Yes, but she...
What, are you going to complain about her?
No, that's a one-off, like Storm said.
Well, it's a one-off because you haven't got enough female leaders to be able to have that proper conversation.
Do you not think this is about equality? And in the world right now, and with what's going on in the Middle East, there isn't any balance. There's no equality. It's all men. That's what Yasmin's trying to say. So if you're all for equality, are you all for equality? Are you all for equality?
Of course I am, but I think there's a lack of equality. Hold on. There's a lack of equality in the Middle East for lots of different reasons, I would have thought, not just because of politics, but because of, perhaps, male dominance in certain religions that don't let women actually be educated, that don't let women get to the top. That's not something that I think is something that people don't know about. But the reason why I'm sort of a little bit antsy is because, of course we have so many male leaders in society and across the world. We haven't got... But just because that's the case... Well, of course you need the balance. But then, if you have the balance between male leaders, female leaders, you can then have a proper discussion as to say which one of those two genders actually is better or more peace-loving.
No, sorry, what I meant was...
With the lack of female leaders, you can't then say, oh, it's always going to be men. You can't compare. There's no comparison
I didn't mean that. I meant that if you've got a male president, then you should have a vice female president. And if you've got a female president, then you should have a male. There's got to be when there's decisions being made about war.
You think gender matters?
I really think the balance does matter, because in studies that was given to me by producer Brad, that actually in studies have shown that.
Brad.
It is actually.
We love Brad.
I have to say, Brad, it is a brilliant brief. Thank you very much. It's nice to give you a name check.
We do. We love Brad. But what it says is that actually studies have shown that women are more empathetic. They've got a little bit more compassion, and actually they're better at multitasking. So
Charlie looks stunned.
Where they are, these studies have been proven. Charlie, this isn't a lie.
Well, I'm not sure about the multitasking, but I'm happy to take the credit for it. Okay, we're going to be taking your calls on this after the break. It's so interesting. Rita from Hertfordshire, you are on the line first up. What do you think?
Hello, Storm and everyone. Yes, absolutely. I think the world would be a safer place with women in charge. I mean, through the ages, we've seen there's fundamental differences between how men think and how women think. And as a mother, or anyone who is going to be a mother, the first thought in your mind is not that you're going to send your future children into a war facing catastrophe. Equally, even women that can't have children, our reaction is different to men. As I said, men have more of an aggression, more pride. Our brains think in different ways. And I firmly believe that women would be better placed to keep the world safer.
Do you think that male leaders wouldn't consider their children when going into a war, Charlie?
Of course they would. And I would just turn that slightly, politely, Rita, on its head and saying, are you suggesting that if you're, a woman and therefore a mother, that you perhaps wouldn't send the armed forces to war where it's needed, and you would therefore end up risking the country and risking the safety because you can't take the decision to act if you need to? Is that what you're suggesting? Because it works both ways.
No, absolutely not. What I'm saying is that the first instinct is to protect your child. And because women bear their children, we have a tighter connection to our children than fathers do. I'm not suggesting for one moment in time that fathers don't love their children, but there's a different connection to it. But equally, I think that the way women think is slightly different to the way men think. And I think that we would try in the first instance to de-escalate rather than have that initial sense of aggression that, yes, we will.
That's got to be, well, I mean...
And they're better at negotiating, and they're better at long-lasting negotiating.
You're really flying the flag for women here, Narinder.
I'm sure they are.
Producer Brad's notes.
I'm sure they are. But
Charlie.
I don't. Where does anybody get this from? That the idea that men are just going to war trigger happy.
History.
Well, I mean, history. But then hold on,
Rita.
If we look at history, there are many examples. As she tries to find them, there are many examples of female leaders that have went to war. Margaret Thatcher being one.
Indira Gandhi.
To the Falklands. So can we really say that women wouldn't go to war?
Categorically 100% no, but I would say 90% yes, we would be less inclined to push the finger on the war button without first having exhausted absolutely everything.
I think the country that has had the most female leaders is Switzerland. I think it's had 5, I don't know, in recent times, and they are renowned for not really getting involved in conflicts. Rita, thank you very much for your call. Janet from Lancashire, what's your view on this one?
I think the world is better off with men. I think women are ruled with the heart and not with the head. And there are times in this world today we've got to rule with our head.
Okay, so you think women would be too emotional to lead?
I think well, I don't say myself because I feel I'm a very strong person, but basically I think women are too soft, gentle. I don't know what the words are, but...
Feminine, maybe? A characteristic of femininity might be being gentle and considerate.
But Janet, we need that. I mean, I find that, for example, what's going on in Gaza, you've got nearly 17,000 children who have been killed and so many more missing. I think we need a bit of gentle and soft, or whatever you think women are.
What do you think to that, Janet?
No, I don't, because I feel what we've got going on in the Middle East at the moment is it's aggression, and people want to wipe out Israel. So there are times when you have to attack, and that's one now. And I do.
It is interesting, though, Janet, that you think generally women are too soft, but exclude yourself from that. So presumably there are some exceptions to the rule. Thank you very much for your call. Angela from Merseyside, what's your view when it comes to women as leaders? Maybe we're too soft, too emotional, lead by the heart too much?
Well, you've got different types of women, haven't you? Just like the men. So we're not all softies and we're not all too, gentle about things. Women are more likely to sort out a problem with more logic than a man.
Oh, well, our previous caller would disagree.
I know that. I hear that. But the thing is, most women, even growing up, they will sort out a problem in a more understanding way, go down different avenues. What will happen here if we do this there? Whereas a man, a lot of times with men, it's like, get it done, tick off the box sort of thing.
Charlie?
There's not many men in the world who think like a woman and think of all the avenues and all the effects that aggression has on people.
Charlie, I'm sorry you have to defend the mankind, but I'm going to you on that.
I think what we're all saying, or if you want the perfect balance, you just want more gay men, probably. If you might think more like a woman.
Interesting. Okay, well, that's
positions of power. But Andrew, when you talk about... the two things I'll say briefly is that I think actually women can be emotionally stronger than men, actually. If I take my family, it's my mum and my grandmother who are actually the centre of the family, is actually the family unit. They are the heartbeat. They are the ones that make sort of the decisions and the tough decisions. And men, for all the bravado and all the banter and all the rest of it, men can be more emotional than women. Some of the women in my family are a lot stronger. But when you talk about, Angela, the negotiate...
I'm not saying that, Charlie.
No, but I was just making...
Hold on. Just let Charlie finish his point and I'll let you come back, Angela.
I was just making that point, Angela, just as a personal sort of experience. Antidote. But also, when you talk about negotiation, are you talking about, women being better negotiators? Are you saying that women are better to negotiate between other women, or women are better negotiating with other men compared to men being able to negotiate with men, or men negotiating with women?
That's a really good point, Angela.
What are we talking about when we talk
about
What about
the dynamics of dealing with other male leaders?
When you're dealing generally with people worldwide, you've got to really think of all the avenues that you're affecting. I'm saying that the majority of men are just go-ho, let's go. Something might be happening around them. He wants to be better than the other one. They've got grudges from other wars or other situations where they've done deals with people, but they're not thinking, they just think straight ahead a lot of times. They're not thinking of all the avenues they're affecting.
Angela, thank you very much for your call. Elizabeth from North Lanarkshire, do you think women would make better leaders than men? Certainly less inclined to go to war?
I definitely think so. I think women are life givers and men take life by the sword. I think that they would definitely return balance, order and truth and peace again.
What's really interesting, actually, just hearing people's views, because everyone will have a different view, but Charlie is absolutely right. I don't know if we've seen enough female leaders or have enough female leaders to actually truly be able to compare them like for like, because I read a study by a psychologist from Harvard who said that all the leaders that we have seen and all the female politicians that we have seen take the leading role, take the top spot, have got through the ranks and rose politically because they have embodied male characteristics, because they have been very good at taking on a male-dominated industry and taking on those male characteristics. So I don't know whether we've actually seen a female leader embody femininity in that way. Maybe there are examples you can think of at home. But it is a very, very interesting debate. Elizabeth, thank you so much for your call.